Hi everyone, this is Mix from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Nike LeBron 19 Space Jam. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, and I do hope you can join us over there because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit. And it's also where we have the SNBPH Steel Cabinet, where I take some shoes that I no longer use, or some shoes that I've reviewed in the past, and put them up for bidding at way below market value. Then if you haven't already, I do hope you can sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. Then with that being said, let's take a look at the Space Jam colorway of the Nike LeBron 19. This is kinda crazy how we're already up to 19 on LeBron's signature shoes, and since I think he's not retiring anytime soon, we're gonna have the LeBron 20 next year, and it's pretty insane how he's played in every single one. And I know he has been a little bit more injury prone since joining the Lakers, but I mean, for the most part throughout his career, he's really been probably the most durable NBA superstar we've ever seen. And kind of just a testament to that is that he's worn every single signature shoe from the 1 to the 19. And that's kind of crazy because I mean, MJ didn't play in the 9s, he also didn't play in the 15s. Then I mean, Kobe also barely played in the Kobe 9s, for example. And I guess all I'm saying is that in itself, just having 19 signature shoes up to this point and wearing every single one is quite a feat indeed. So since this is the LeBron 19 Space Jam which LeBron used in the movie, can't help but compare it to Michael Jordan in the OG Space Jam with the Space Jam 11s as well as the Space Jam Jordan 9s. In terms of appearance, the Space Jam Jordan 11s that MJ wore were definitely a lot more classic looking, a lot more timeless, and the LeBron 19 Space Jam does have those colors from the movie, and it kinda encapsulates the theme a lot better because it does have a very cartoony color palette. But just compare it to MJ and the OG Space Jam and the OG Space Jam 11s, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, I'm picking the other one 10 times out of 10. But even if that is the case, like I said, this is a beefcake of a shoe because it just has a lot of tech in it. So let's go over all of the tech specs on the LeBron 19, starting off with the traction. So for the traction on the LeBron 19, it is kind of interesting because it's covered by nubs from forefoot to heel. And when you do look closer, you'll notice that they aren't just simple nubs, but instead they're nubs in the shape of the LeBron crown logo. It is very interesting that they use this logo for the traction on the whole shoe, but from my personal experience just trying it out here at home, it does grip really well. It does have a very strong bite, especially if you're moving forward and backward, but my only hesitation with the traction is it doesn't seem as grippy on side-to-side movements or lateral movements, and it's mostly because this pattern just goes in one direction. It also doesn't seem like it would trap a lot of dust, so probably dust won't be an issue. And then for the durability, the nubs are a bit soft, but not too soft. But the thing is, you only have nubs on the traction pattern, and in my own personal experience over the years, when you have nubs, it's kinda easy to have them fray off, or even rip off in some cases. The LeBron 19 also doesn't come with an XDR outsole like other shoes that release in Asia. But I mean, you know, for a shoe that's over $200 and is way more expensive than a lot of other basketball shoes, I don't really think a lot of people will wear these outside anyway. Then moving on to the cushion, if you have followed LeBron's shoes for a long time, you're probably aware that LeBrons have always been known to have max cushion, and with the LeBron 19, it's no different. With the LeBron 19 though, it is kinda unique because they haven't used this setup in any of the previous ones, and essentially what you have is a full-length Cushlon midsole with a gigantic zoom unit here in the forefoot and an absolutely massive Air Max unit here at the back. I'm not really sure if the camera does justice on how gigantic these units are, but they're definitely just so chunky and thick. And you know, if you try these on and you play with them and you think you still lack impact protection, then I think that's definitely something wrong with your legs and your knees, because I don't think there is a shoe out there that can have more impact protection than the LeBron 19. That zoom unit in the forefoot is just insane. I mean, you can see it from toe all the way to the midfoot, and it actually does seem bigger than the zoom unit on the Nike Alpha Dunk, which released a couple of years ago. I never really thought we'd see a forefoot zoom unit that was bigger than the Alpha Dunks, but I really do hope that it's better than the zoom on the Alpha Dunk because that zoom unit didn't really feel that nice, and it also was one of the stiffest because it just had absolutely no flex in it. So I just really hope this is better because as of right now it does have a lot of impact protection, but I don't really feel too much of like a crazy bounce back or a crazy bouncy feeling like with the zoom strobel unit or maybe like with the Jordan 36, 35, and 34. But hopefully after I start breaking it in, it feels a lot more zoomy. Then here at the back, it is just a large air unit, and this definitely provides a lot of impact protection and a little bit of plushness. And if you are a heavy heel striker, then this will definitely be for you because it will just absorb that heel strike no problem, especially since you also have a full-length Cushion midsole that's super soft and comfy as well. So I guess in the end, if comfort and impact protection is what your top priority is, then this is definitely a shoe to go for. However, I wouldn't really recommend this cushion setup for a lot of quick guards because you do sit pretty high off the ground, and the shoe overall, given the cushion setup and all of the stuff they put in it, is actually quite a heavy and hefty shoe. Then moving on to the materials, the LeBron 19 has this sort of external sort of mesh layer with a full neoprene boot underneath. The neoprene boot on the inside is very cushioned, very padded, and really comfy, and on the outside that mesh is pretty thin and actually is almost see-through. But don't let that thin layer fool you, this actually feels super strong, and I don't really think durability, containment, and support will be an issue with this upper. That's pretty much most of the major materials on the upper, but you also have some others like this plastic here on the wings on the midfoot, and you also have some rubbery plastic on the eyelets, and just like the LeBron 18, you do have some pockets of air within plastic like here on the tongue, as well as here on the ankle and heel. And then for the last bit of material, you do have this soft textile tongue that is adequately padded and is definitely and thankfully way better than the tongue on the LeBron 18. So overall, the materials don't really feel as premium as some of the LeBrons of the past. You know, the ones that used like fly knit or what they would call the different kinds of knit. But it also feels more lightweight while still being super strong. And it's also still really comfy on foot. Then moving on to fit and sizing, I did go true to size with the LeBron 19. And it fits me really well. Definitely fits really nice, especially here at the midfoot because of those lockdown wings. And then you also have those wings here at the ankle as well as that padding here at the back, which makes the fit at the heel really nice as well. The only problem I had with the fit is that there was a little bit of extra length, but it wasn't that big of a deal because I really don't think I will be sliding in the shoe. And besides, in terms of the width, it is perfect for me, so I don't really think I could have gone down half a size. So for my recommendation on the sizing, if you have a narrow foot, you might want to go down half a size, but it is also perfectly fine if you go through the size. Then if you have a normal width foot, go through the size. Then if you have a wide foot, you might want to go up half a size just because of these plastic wings that attach here at the midfoot. Then moving on to the aesthetic details, this is a wild and cartoony looking shoe because it was the shoe for Space Jam: A New Legacy. But when you really dissect it, it isn't too crazy and too over the top. Like here on the outsole, it is just this totally red translucent rubber, and you just have small details like the Nike Air branding and your blue LeBron crown logo here at the heel. Then moving on to the midsole, of course you have that visible air unit here at the heel and the visible max zoom unit here on the forefoot. Then above that, you have this bright blue here on the cushion. Then interestingly enough, here at the tip of the toe, you actually have it carved out into a crown. Then you also have some debossed text on the rubber that comes up, like Witness, 19, and Long Live the King. Then at the midfoot, you do have those lockdown wings on the lateral and medial side, with the one on the lateral side having LeBron's signature and a cutout of a crown. Then on the medial side, you also have a cutout, but this time with a Nike swoosh. Then moving on to the upper, most of the shoe is this yellow. Then you also have red here on the laces, as well as those rubbery plastic pieces on the eyelets. And then you have blue on the air bubbles here at the ankle and heel, as well as the bubble on the tongue. Then speaking on that bubble on the tongue, here on the left shoe you have the LeBron Lion logo, and then on the right shoe you do have a number 6 in cartoon font. Then for the last few details, you do have Strive for Greatness on the top of the tongue, and then here at the bottom half of the tongue, you have that crown logo with blue and red. Then moving on to the overall aesthetics, it's definitely a very strange and jarring look. I mean, the air units just make it look super beefed up, and the upper does also have this very boot-like or gladiator boot type shape to it, even if it is made of this thin mesh. It's definitely gonna be pretty hard to rock, especially if you're like a small person or a thin person, because it is just such a chunky and hefty shoe. But you know, you could definitely make this work, and it does look cool if you have those Space Jam jerseys. But I don't know, for me personally, it's definitely gonna take some time for me to warm up to the design. Then moving on to the price, the Nike LeBron 19 retails for 10,595 pesos here in the Philippines, or $200 US. So let's just get this out of the way. It is an expensive basketball shoe, and you know, there was a time when there were a lot of shoes in this price range, like looking back to when they had the Elite series with the KDs, the Kobes, and the LeBrons. But nowadays, with the KDs being in a lower price tier and you have a lot of shoes like the Kyries, the Dames, the PGs, the Zions, the Trae Young ones, there's definitely a lot of shoes. And honestly, it's just gonna be really hard for me to recommend a shoe that's this expensive unless, it just completely blows me out of the water in terms of performance. Of course, if you are a LeBron fan like me, you'll definitely find it worth it because I do collect LeBrons. But for the average hooper that just wants a shoe that's really good on court and that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, this might not be the first thing I would recommend. I did get mine over at the Nike website when they dropped on sneakers, and I'm not really sure if they have sizes of the Space Jam colorway, but I do highly doubt it. But there is the other white and light blue colorway that is available in a full family size run. So there you have it, guys. That's my detailed review on the Nike LeBron 19 Space Jam. Once again, if you liked the video, please do make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. Then once again, if you are looking for that retail W, or if you're teaming up with Bugs Bunny, just keep on hunting.